Okay, why not get divorced? Well, let's talk about 4 reasons why not get divorced. These are 4. There's other reasons too, but these are the 4 reasons we'll talk about. So first of all, it can be a financial catastrophe. Divorce, you have limited financial means, and often when couples get divorced, they can spend, if it's a nasty divorce and they're battling it out, they can spend all of their savings on lawyers and court costs. Okay? It can be a financial disaster, not to mention the drop in standard of living that both sides experience as a result of divorce, because there was only a limited amount of money in the pot, and then that money was previously sustaining one household. Now it has to sustain 2 households, so there's going to be a drop in standard of living. Okay, so that's one very simple reason. It can be a financial disaster. Second reason is it can be a disaster for children, an emotional disaster. I say that children are physically created by the love between husband and wife. And I say that moment of love is not just a one-time thing, but it actually stays with a child his or her whole life. And a child is almost a sort of a barometer, a meter of the relationship between the parents. And to the extent that the relationship between the parents is close and good and warm and loving and caring, so the child is happy and is thriving. And to the extent that that relationship is problematic or bound with tension, or difficult, so the child feels that too and reflects that in different ways. So there's almost a continuous creation process going on with children, and by the parents. So to get divorced, certainly if it's a conflict-ridden divorce, it's really the conflict that's the problem, but in many cases of divorce there is unfortunately a lot of conflict. So when the conflict that comes about from a divorce can really create a very torn and difficult emotional situation in children. This has been well documented, and it's something that stays with them pretty much their whole life. So as parents, one of the best gifts that you can give your children is a good marriage. Okay? It's really the best gift that you can give your children, better than college education, better than money in the bank, better than a car, better than so many other things. If you have a good marriage, that is the most wonderful gift that you can give your children. So that's a second reason not to give divorce, is the damage that it can do to kids. A third reason is that if you have children, you're going to have to maintain communication anyway. You're going to have to maintain, okay, it's not a relationship of husband and wife, but it's the relationship of, say, partners, okay? We'll call it business partners, okay? The important business of raising children. That never stops. You have to raise your kids, and you're going to have to talk to each other, and you have to raise your kids together. You're going to have to make joint decisions. You're going to have to decide, for family events, what to do and where to have it, what have you. It's going to be many things that you're going to have to decide together, decisions of education and healthcare and all kinds of stuff like that. So anyway, you're going to have that kind of relationship, and it's going to have to be a cooperative relationship and a good relationship for the benefit of the children. So if anyway we're not talking about cutoff, okay, we're talking about maintaining a relationship, so why not go all the way and make it, a proper loving family relationship, marriage. Okay, so a lot of people make that mistake and they think that divorce is actually cut off, but in the case when there's children, it's not cut off, or it shouldn't be cut off for the sake of the children. So anyway, you're going to have to really have a relationship, so why not get it right? A fourth reason not to divorce is a lot of time people divorce and then they go off and they get married again, and then all of a sudden they find that the same problem they were having with their first partner, they're starting to have with their second partner, and it starts to become apparent that the problem that they had was actually their own problem, was an internal problem, and they never really sorted it out with their first partner, and now they have to go figure it out and get it right with their second partner. So rather than have to go through that painful process, bite the bullet and try to, if you have something that's your issue, try to get it right now in the context of your first marriage, and then that can be your only marriage and your best marriage. Okay, so not to push off the inevitable until later and then have to deal with it later, but deal with it now, deal with your own stuff and your own issues, and then you'll be all the happier because of it. I'm Dr. Jonathan Glass, thank you for being with me today, and see you next time.